sending them stuff. All right? All right, and shalom for everyone watching online there. And we're going to get started. Let's read that.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 9. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed and sought out, and set in order many proverbs. The preacher sought to find our acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. The words of the wise are as goads, and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. And further, by these, my son, be admonished, of making many books there is no end.
And they should have put there, it's funny, I shouldn't say they should have put there, I'll say in our time, the way we can relate to this is, the making of many YouTube videos, there is no end.
That's right.
Everybody's got a doctrine now, because every 5 seconds somebody done popped up with a new YouTube video. Oh, now I did some deep research in this. No, you didn't.
Right.
You was chilling one day and it came on to your recommendeds, and you got stuck. All right, read.
Of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Right. So that's why the lesson is called Do Your Job. A lot of people, it's a shame, but we're here to help with this aspect of things. A lot of people, we come to church because we're looking for a miracle. When here it is, the Most High don't have to give you a miracle. He expects you to do your job, what you were created to do. All right, read that again.
Verse 13, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments.
Right, this is a point that I decided to write earlier. Look, the true miracle you're looking for is exactly before you. You waking up.
Right.
That's the real miracle.
Right.
Because if it was left to the powers that be, you would not know who you are to the bitter end. Okay? You would not be able to connect the dots here. And to be able to give you that, we're going to go to, where we stop at this? Give one more verse.
This is verse 14. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
And that's why you need to do your job. Because if you think all this technology, we sit here, that's why I was also taking this time. Unfortunately, we don't have the HD today working. But there's a lot of HD out there and special stuff where you're watching the TV and it looks like that person's in the room with you and everything, right? Well, guess what? The Most High's got better cameras than that, if you will. He can see through all of your mess. So that's why you must do your job. Because he will call you when it's all said and done. All right? Now, let's turn to, where we at? Ezekiel 37:1. Because we're going to go to the biggest miracle here. Because I want to say this. The other stuff, that comes by you recognizing the biggest miracle and changing your life around. Those are signs based off of you realizing the biggest miracle. That grace that was given you so that you could wake up. I mean, a lot of us thought we were all but lost in the world. We would cry out at times and like, where's God? How did this happen to me? In tears. Never thinking we would amount to anything. And somehow, this little old book that we had for years, all of a sudden started to speak to us. You think that was by chance? You think that this is something miraculous in and of itself, that this was compiled? Any time in history, when you look back, when they wanted to actually dump down the society, what did they start doing? Burning the information. You think they cared remember they used to have, some of you may remember they used to have torrents online where you could just go and get some book that's ancient or whatever and find it somewhere, and all of a sudden they got rid of torrents. That's what you think they were doing that for? Trying to get rid of that free flow of information. Now they're starting to channel everything into certain lanes. They're doing it on purpose, they're doing it again. But somehow this book survived the test of time. You got this, the Most High is perfect in what he does. He said, I'm going to make them go to sleep and I'm going to make them awake. And it happened. So these are the miracles we need to pay attention to. We're going to touch on that in Ezekiel. Okay? Start from the top there, please.
Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 1. The hand of the Most High was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Most High, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, Prophesy unto upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Most High. Thus saith the Most High Power unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Most High. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Then said he unto me, Prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, Son of man, and say to the wind, Thus saith the Most High Power, Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain.
Right, so the truth, and they're having problems hearing us. I think they can hear you because I'm talking into this, so somehow it's not. So see if they can hear now, Papa. I'm going to talk about this a little bit. So this is exactly what's been done here. And it's being done throughout the whole earth, spreading. We're prophesying to the wind. We're out there just saying it the way it is for the Most High. And those bones are awakening. We're going to find out who those bones actually are. All right? Because it said they're dry. Okay? And matter of fact, I think about, well, let's touch on who it is first. Then I'll touch on it.
All right, this is the middle verse 9. Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, Our bones are dry, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Most High Power, Behold, O my people, I will open your graves, and cause you to come up out of your graves, and bring you into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Most High, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I am the most High have spoken it.
Right. So the whole deal is, I might have to speak without this because they have a problem. Okay. All right, so can you hear me back there? Yeah. All right, so the whole deal is this. We were those dry bones. I put this out there before. I remember having a book. My grandfather actually had a book in his library, Valley of the Dry Bones. We've known it for years a lot, but the truth is in spurts. Some people have it here or there. You may have had a grandmother that remembered something. But the reality is, because of the Most High taking that spirit from us for a time, because of our foolishness, we were like dry bones. That's why I remember years ago on the street, elders showed this new style they had. Remember they used to have the uniform, not the uniform, the clothing where it was actually like a skeleton. I don't know if it was a thing on the West Coast, but on the East Coast, they had like a hoodie. You could literally zip up the hood, and you just was a bone all the way down, like a Halloween costume, but it's a regular day of the year. Mm-hmm. It wasn't Halloween. Brothers walking around town with it. They made that stuff making fun of the fact that they knew who you were. So the whole thing is, that's the real miracle here. You had no idea who you were. Occasionally, maybe somebody was lucky enough to get it in their family. But the bottom line is, as a nation, we were pretty much lost. And now we're building back. And that's the problem they have. It said an exceeding great army there. An exceeding great army. So the whole thing is, we have to start realizing, look, man, maybe it is time to do our job here. Stop complaining so much and realize that the Most High has something greater for us if we believe. But belief comes with action. There's plenty of people that do this. In fact, that's what we're known for.
Mm.
We got a good rap.
Right.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's go into the Isaiah 55 there. We went into this on the baptism, but I wanted to touch on this in regards to the lesson here. Because the time that we're in, brothers and sisters, this is the time of a serious awakening. We're making strides into different countries. And the thing is here that we have to realize, when we go into these countries, even that will be a testimony of how big of a miracle this is, because the rest of these countries, when they look at us a lot of times, they're like, man, them guys are messed up over there in Babylon. Now just imagine when you're viewed like that, being the same people that go into these countries and have to now bring truth to be the beacon of light for these different people. That's a miracle in itself. You mean to tell me Jake was that destroyed, and now they're sitting here talking on an academic level, making these people who claim to have all kinds of degrees look like fools? Mm-hmm. When you read the book of Acts, when Peter was speaking, they said, man, we could perceive that these guys are unlearned men. Right. But it's something about what they're saying. It's like we can't debate it. You know, of course, you can tell with their vernacular, the way they said certain things, that these guys, you know, they just probably some locals. But somehow they were making them look foolish. That's a miracle in itself. The Most High can put wisdom upon you to make the biggest scholar look like a fool, so-called scholar. All right? So let's get to that. Let's get to that next one, Isaiah 55.
This is Isaiah chapter 55, verse 1. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear, and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live, and I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Behold, I have given him for a witness to the people, a leader and commander to the people. Behold, thou shalt call a nation that thou knowest not, and nations that knew not thee shall run unto thee, because of the Most High thy power.
And see, this is what I'm trying to figure about this movement too, when we're waking up. It just said the nations will run unto us, but yet we reject teaching it. If we don't teach this, who will? I don't think their leaders are going to do it. Somebody has to stand up at these very last days that we have, these last seconds of this game here, this war, if you will, this spiritual war, and tell the people the truth. Why not us? The biggest miracle of all right here. Christ rose from the dead physically. But don't you know that you rose too that day you woke up to this truth? You were dead. The Most High put you away as if dead. But he said, I'm going to raise you up just like these bones. So that's the thing. We've been called to this. And why not is the question. Mm-hmm. Let's go. Keep going.
And nations that knew not thee shall run unto thee, because of the Most High thy power, and for the Holy One of Israel, for he hath glorified thee. Seek ye the Most High while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Most High, and he will have mercy upon him.
Right, so stop playing the games, and he'll have mercy upon you. And you know, for the first few years or so, let's be real, a lot of times we're still in conflict on what we want to do. But the thing is, the Most High said, look, it's time. Dry bones, it's time. Either you're going to listen to that wind when it's been going past you, that spirit hitting you, or you're going to be like the rest here. But like I said, our job was to go to the four corners of the earth eventually with this. It wasn't put on anybody else. Okay? So take pride in the fact that the Most High has actually thought about you of all people. Sometimes that get me messed up. I'm just like, man, what did I do to even deserve that? Right. Even the prophets used to act that, and they were keeping the law to a T from a child. We're talking about perfection here, choosing you for a job. Which means what? You can't even take no credit. You have to now stand in humility to do what others failed to do for centuries here. All right? Let's go. We're gonna jump over a little bit more.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit.
Verse 7. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Most High, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Most High. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than yours, than your way, and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void.
And that's what your faith must be in. I haven't seen one word the Most High said that didn't happen. If he said it's going to happen, if it's already happened, it was about to happen. Stay tuned. Again, we're a testimony of when he says something's going to happen, it's going to happen. Whether it be for the curses or the blessings. We can all attest, well, wait a minute, I'm reading this. I definitely see that what happened to our people is in here. Matter of fact, what happened to the other nations is in here. So anything he spoke, it didn't matter what time period. The greatest of empires, oh yeah, we're the greatest. If he said it was going to fall, it fell when he said it was going to fall. By who he said it was going to fall. So that it should give you confidence in yourself. When you're in that moment, because I'm going to tell you, brothers and sisters, it may come a time where your faith is really tried. Not just with your family, they mad at you because you ain't eating bacon no more or something. I'm talking about when you may travel this earth, and that next thing you know, just for speaking the truth, you may have to deal with some time like Peter was, behind bars or something. In that time, you're going to have to remember those promises. You're going to have to remember that his word is true regardless of what's going on in your situation. Because sometimes we have a tendency to thought, why me? Just relax. He's with you. If you're doing the right things, you're okay. Okay? And that's the thing. When we're reading this, he's telling you, look, just keep what I said and you get it all. It said, look, even the other nations, bottom line is you will actually be in a situation where even the work will be working itself. Mm-hmm. It tell you that. Right. So I don't know, again, this is going to be a good kingdom here. We just have to stay to the end and keep our minds right here. All right? Let's check it out. Let's go to the next one here. 1:16 through 20. We're gonna finish that. Leave that. This is your time, brothers and sisters. I don't think so. Yeah. Oh. We'll put it in there at the end there, folks, because that would be too much typing right now. We apologize. We should have put the precepts in there before. I want to say this on that note. The thing is, when it comes down to it, and we're going to go to this in a second, like we were expressing to the people in the baptism, is bottom line is, a lot of us been through one heck of a story. If we were just to sit down and listen. Okay? And you may feel at times, hey, maybe I'm not cut out for this. In fact, I've heard people literally, they still can recognize, they don't realize that that's even the spirit in itself, telling them, look, get right. It's okay, get right. But they'll literally recognize and say, look, I don't know if I'm good enough. I keep messing up. No, you're good enough for this. If the Most High said it, you can do it. It really comes down to what your faith is like. How far you're willing to go for this. Because there is, in fact, a kingdom waiting for the meek of this earth. It's like it didn't even register to us in the past when it said the poor would inherit the earth and so forth. We already who's broke here? Mm-hmm. Right. Who's always on the bottom? We didn't even consider it, but yet he said it, and we're being raised before our own eyes here. How many people, even just in this room, probably was in all kinds of gang life, drug life, and all that, and then you come in this and realize, man, you're just like a different person to your family, to the point where it kind of scares them. You want to read the Bible? Mm-hmm. What's wrong with you? Why you out here getting some girls or something? What's wrong? You don't go to the club.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shocking thing. The miracle. It's upon us right now. And guess what? It's upon, it's going to hit the four corners here. Let's read that though, because the Most High said, don't think like that. You can make it. 1 and 16.
This is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 16. Wash you, make you clean. Put away the evil of your doings from before mine eyes. Cease to do evil. Learn to do well. Seek judgment. Relieve the oppressed. Judge the fatherless. Plead for the widow. Come now, and let us reason together, saith the Most High. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land.
There's that old word for us. That old word has us like, oh man, obedient. This is the contract. It's not even that hard, believe it or not. You do, I've said this before, you do more for your job than you have to do for the Most High to get in. You do more for your job. You don't even realize it. The catch is stop doing so much. You find that your sins have you doing way too much with life.
True.
All right? When life is a lot simpler. All right? Read that.
Verse 20. But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword. For the mouth of the Most High has spoken.
Right. And I could get a child, 10 years old, to understand what I just read there.
Mm-hmm.
If you just stop, I'll bless you. But if you keep going in your foolishness, guess what? I got to give you the belt. Even the child gets that concept. All right, I don't want to push this too far here.
Mm-hmm.
He just gave me that look. I don't want to go that far. All right? Let's see. Let's go to this next one here. Romans 12 and 1. Romans 12 and 1. Because, remember, the lesson is about doing your job. Realizing your purpose, brothers and sisters. Okay. You know, and I'll say this too. I want to thank the Most High for those remnant, for those that, you know, hang in there regardless of what's going on. Because you're always going to have the adversary come and try to shake you from your seat, from your spot in this. But you must learn to develop patience through it all. All right? So I am proud that there's a lot, you know, because believe me, understand, even just you guys' situation, I had no idea what was going on. You know, and I got briefed on some things short, a little bit short thing, it was a briefing, but I got the understanding, and I was like, okay, well, who's left? Okay, straight. Whoever's left, we'll start trying to build with. That's all it's about. There's always going to be a remnant. So just be happy in that you survived that wave. It ain't over. It's going to be plenty of waves. The sea has plenty of waves. Okay? But it's just really something to try your faith, to build you up in these last days, so that when it all shakes out, even if you one of these people that make it to the wilderness and all that stuff in the future, just like when Moses had to do it, you're on the right side of things. You're not on this level of confusion where you've forgotten what your job is. Okay? It's like the thing about us, we tend to look for a reward for stuff that's supposed to be standard. I don't know how many times, and I'm not knocking sisters because brothers do it too, but I just know when I look at the news and stuff like that, you'll have people saying this. Well, look, I take care of my kids. So does every other nation. What's your point? Why do you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you know they got you thinking like that? Like the things you're supposed to be responsible for in this earth, you act like you're supposed to get some kind of certificate for. I've heard brothers say silly stuff like this, and I'm like, what in the world did you point? So does everybody else. We have to learn again. We have to get on this thing where we recognize what our job is and don't sit there and look for an accolade or reward for that purpose. Even though it's funny enough, if you get that kind of mindset, you'll get a reward anyway. That's the thing. Even though it shouldn't be your mindset. You should be happy to serve the Most High. Blessed. Like, oh man, a part of a kingdom that never ends. Gold streets? You kidding me? These are not exaggerations. Did he exaggerate when he said slave ships? Did he just mean it would just be a few of us on a boat? Okay. That's all you need to know. If he said it, he's serious. If he said gold streets, I'm talking about gold streets. So don't give up your spot. You know, I've had people in the past say, well, they fuss me, just like, look, brother, I'll take your mansion too, man. I'm gonna keep working. So if you don't want to be down, okay, fine. Just give me your right. You know, write that off or something for me.
Yeah, right.
Because if the Most High said it for his workers, that's what you're gonna get. Period. All right. Let's go there. Let's read that.
All right. This is Romans chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as the Most High hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are one body in Christ, and everyone members one of another, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith, or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching, or he that exhorteth on exhortation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth, with diligence. He that showeth mercy, with cheerfulness. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love. In honor preferring one another. Not slothful in business. Fervent in spirit. Serving the Most High.
Right. And go up to that. Think you ought to use more than you ought to think. Real quick. Read that again.
All right, this is Romans chapter 12, verse 3. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according to the Most High, according as the Most High has dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are one body in Christ.
Right. So the whole thing is, the one thing, again, the concept today to take home, do your job. Do your job. Because the whole thing is, when it comes down to it, no job that you do for this work is any greater than the other. It's all important. I didn't cook no food today for all that, but I bet it's going to make some people happy. So part of that's part of the ministry too there. You know, the problem with our people is we look for some more comely parts, as it says, of the body, as if these other things don't matter. Most High didn't say if you're a prophet, you get a different mansion than if you was a person that's always whipping up the food and doing a great job, working hard. Just do whatever is your job, do it. And guess what? I want to touch on something else too. Because here's the thing. You know, some of you seen this on the street preaching and stuff like that. A lot of people don't even understand. For me, I was over in the East. There was no street preaching where I was. And as a matter of fact, it was 10 years. Almost 10 years as far as the street preaching. But yet you got people 10 seconds in this looking, hey, can I, when we going to do the street preaching? When can I do that? Well, first of all, before you hit the streets, you got to understand the streets have already hit you hard. You got to take some time first. Right. There's a lot of young brothers, they had that gusto, that's all they want to do. They want to get out there, and then they shame themselves in the work. No, do your job first. Your first job for each individual is to get yourself together. Because what happens? Even if you bring family into this, they're going to be confused if you're still confused. Whether it be your children, you bring your mom in this, your cousin, they're going to be confused. They're going to be looking at you like, this is the truth? Okay, well, I guess if you're doing that, I ain't got to change either. So first, understand your office where you are at that time and do your job in that office. Your first job, again, is to get yourself together. All right? I want to emphasize that. Okay, let me get to another point here. But we're going to turn to John 6 and 22 through 38 also. And hold that and go to Sirach 32 and 7. And I want to say this point too. Here's the thing. A lot of times we look to be seen of men instead of the man of Christ being seen through them. We look to be seen of men instead of Christ being seen through us, the man who was Christ, who is Christ. Yeah. And that's a shame. It hurts the work. It suffocates it, in fact. One of our main jobs is to represent the kingdom well, to represent the miracle well. Because you must understand, again, first and foremost, that's what's key. Walking in faith, understanding your position, not someone else's, yours. All right? So, we're going to read this real quick. Read that, please.
This is Sirach chapter 32, verse 7. Speak, young man, if there be need of thee, and yet scarcely when thou art asked twice asked. Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. Be as one that knoweth, and yet holdeth his tongue. If thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them. And when ancient men are in place, use not many words. Before the thunder goeth lightning, and before a shamefaced man shall go favor. Rise up betimes, and be not the last, but get thee home without delay. 17.
Nah, definitely go to
17.
What I got set up here?
I think 17.
Yeah, I want to get that point. Judgment shall kindle.
17.
Nah, she dropped to 16. That's cool.
16. Verse 16. They that fear the Most High shall find judgment, and shall kindle justice as a light.
Right, so it's giving you the process here. As a matter of fact, read 15 one more time.
Verse 15.
Check this out.
Verse 15. He that seeketh the law shall be filled therewith, but the hypocrite will be offended thereat.
Okay, and that B times there. It should be after that.
All right.
Shit, beat up B times with that.
Beat up B times? Oh, this is it right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Verse 10. Before the thunder goeth lightning, and before a shamefaced man shall go favor. Rise up betimes, and be not the last, but get thee home without delay.
So what's it telling you there? Check this out. Not only are you supposed to pay attention when elders are teaching, you're supposed to be there many times. Mm-hmm. In fact, you want to make sure that you when it comes down, be there. Make sure you if you online or whatever it is you got the case may be, you don't miss a second. Mm-hmm. And then it say what? What's that last part?
But get thee home without delay.
And when it's time to go home, you go home and process it. And then guess what? You can chill out and do your thing. But process that thing. Okay? That's the important part about it. It's not about who can get on this mic again and do like you saw on YouTube. It's plenty of that. It's a circus out here on how many cats want to be on a mic. But the Most High's not looking for that. That's why he said the laborers are few. Not that the volunteers are few. There's plenty of people. Yeah, man, when can I get that street preaching? Brother, didn't you get here yesterday? Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? Who are you? You understand? Yeah, Mike, that's all Jake need anyway. One mic, we were joking about earlier. Yeah. They said we only got one mic today. They didn't give us two. Anyway, so we will go to this next precept here, man. John 6 and 22, 38.
All right, this is John chapter 6, verse 22. For the Father judgeth no man, but hath committed all judgment unto the Son, that all men should honor the Son, even as they honor the Father. He that honoreth not the Son honoreth not the Father, which hath sent him. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word, and believeth on him that sent me, hath everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of the Most High, and they that hear shall live. For as the Father hath life in himself, so hath he given to the Son to have life in himself, and hath given him authority to execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming, in the which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice, and shall come forth, they that have done good, unto the resurrection of life.
I started, I wish I was looking at it. I told you. You're not in the right part.
You said 6 and 22?
Yeah, 6 and 22.
Oh, it's 5 and 22.
Yeah, I'm like, what is it? I'm not looking. I'm just flowing here.
Good. All right, I'm here. Read it.
Yeah, 22.
This is John chapter 6, verse 22. The day following, when the people which stood on the other side of the sea saw that there was none other boat, save the one whereinto the disciples were entered.
Hey, hold up. Before we even read this, I want you to imagine it's Jake sitting on this side of the thing here. Just imagine it. All right, go ahead.
All right. The day following, when the people which stood on the other side of the sea saw that there was none other boat there, save that one whereinto his disciples were entered, and that Yeshua went not with his disciples into the boat, but that his disciples were gone away alone. Howbeit there came other boats from Tiberias nigh unto the place where they did eat bread. After that Yeshua had given thanks. When the people therefore saw that Yeshua was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping, and came to Capernaum, seeking for Yeshua. And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when camest thou hither? Yeshua answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me, not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled.
Right. So they really weren't with the movement.
Right.
They saw them because he could make food materialize out of anywhere. That was their motivation. They hopping on boats and everything. Man, we got to get with this guy.
Right.
We had a good little fish fry here. And it was stuff left over. So they really weren't with it. They weren't on the job. And that's what we have to understand. Look, like I said before, the biggest miracle is that you woke up, and you should be thankful for it, because the Most High, he didn't have to do it. A lot of times when we was in the scriptures, we was only down with Christ when he was actually doing something for us. Not say, what can we do for you? That was another point. When it comes down to it, we'd rather be on the mic than to be the guy carrying the mics.
Right.
And I usually respect that guy more than the guy that always wants to be on the mic here. Every time you turn around, hey, when I get to teach, I feel like the Spirit, telling me. Now, I start watching the guy that's always trying to help, and it ain't nothing behind that helping. You're not looking for accolades or something. I watch him. Okay. Right. Let's read.
Verse 27. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath the Most High, the Father, sealed. Then said they unto him, What shall we do, that we might work the works of the Most High? Yeshua answered them and said unto them, This is the work of the Most High, that ye believe on him whom he hath sent. They said therefore unto him, What sign showest thou then, that we may see, and believe thee? What dost thou work? Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, He gave them bread from heaven to eat.
Wow, and I'm going to tell you what's deep about that, because it's the Spirit here. Because I'm thinking to myself, it's the same dynamic from the wilderness. Here it is, he literally gave us bread from heaven, but we were saying, well, where's the meat from earth? Where's this meat at? Yeah, he made some he gave us angels food and everything, but where's the meat at?
Right.
Asking for a miracle where I'm talking to you right now. What you mean a miracle?
Right, exactly.
The Son of Man is before you talking to you, and you asking me for a miracle? The scriptures spoke about me. Here it is. Christ is like, yo, the script. I'm all the way through the scriptures, and I'm right before you, not before someone else, right before you, and you asking for a miracle. Before I can do my job, right. I need a sign first. And If we ain't the people, that's why I
Yeah,
said put
we
that in
the
your head. If you haven't heard of people say it more than us, you know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, well, God talks to me personally from the heavens. I'm gonna stop my mess.
Right. Exactly.
So the whole thing is, that's what we're about right now. We're trying to get people into the proper context here, you know, their mindsets, get that thing together there. Because you have something greater to do here beyond Babylon. Beyond the little situation you may have, I see, I just feel like she don't like me. All that little stuff, you got something bigger than that. You're wasting your time with that. You've been called to something greater. I know it's hard to believe, but you have been. And you must believe that too. The only way to elevate your mind is by first believing you can elevate your mind. You can get beyond your condition. That's what the other nations understand. It's a mindset first. Anything you want to do, whether it come to business or whatever have you, you must mentally be there before you physically go there. They teach that even when in business school. You got to have these mindsets. Mm-hmm. While everybody else is trying to put you down and say you'll never make it, you have to see the end goal.
Yeah.
They teach you that. But where do you think they got the concept from? Faith is key here. Okay, let's go to the next one here. James 2:14. We good there. Because I just wanted to make that point there because all praises the Most High. That Christ used to drop it, man. Like, man, y'all only around because I could drop bread on the spot right here. Right. I just imagine somebody even going out of their way, not a car, brother, it's a boat. They took a boat all the way over to see it. Okay?
Yeah, right.
From a whole nother situation. Let's get on the boat. Let's stay. Mind you pulling sails and everything. Hey, you got some bread? Mm-hmm. We gonna eat good today again, Christ? And we laughing, but that's how we sound. True. I just want to say, imagine Jake being there and how he, you know, the mannerisms and everything when food is, mm-hmm. Trying to figure it out. Okay. Right? All right, go ahead.
This is James chapter 2, verse 14. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith and have not works? Can faith save him?
Can faith save him? Let's find out.
If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, Depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit? Even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. Yea, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. Thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works?
I want to put it there.
Okay.
I want to put it there. So it's about walking the walk too. And the funny thing is, we just go by the scripture and just say, oh, look, it just says, if we believe on Christ, we're saved. But if you're not doing the right things, who says you believe? Who says you really believe, I should say? Because the devil knows who Christ is too. Mm-hmm. That's the point. Right. Adam was called to a job that he failed. So were we. And guess what? We failed far more than Adam. So the whole thing is, it's about doing some actions here now. Stepping up to the plate. Doing your job first in your homes. And then you can help everyone else. If you're still sick, they're only going to be like we talk about, you know, all the time, vaccines and different things. People get sick from this and catching that. It's the same thing. Now you're passing the spirit to someone else. Right? If you're still a person that's volatile from the world because of some damage probably happened to you as a child, that's rightfully so, okay. But you got to let it go, by the way. Okay. You're going to damage someone else. So that's what you must do. You must actually say, you know what? It's time I do my job. Stop looking at someone else when they do their job and getting jealous because they actually doing it right. That's the thing we tend to do too. The guy that's working the hardest at the job, we don't congratulate him. We get mad at him. Like, No. You should be like, okay, well, he working harder than me. It is what it is. Good job. If I'm not doing it, how can I be mad at the guy next to me for actually doing what he was hired to do?
Right.
How many times do people get jealous of the guy who's actually doing what was on the application you filled out? Instead of, I don't know, doing it yourself. And say, I can't never get ahead. That guy don't have no problem. It's about mindset. All right? Let's continue on. Let's go to Romans 10. We're going to be through this a little bit, but we want to get to some good points here. Romans 10 and 1 through 10. And even this, I'm telling you, this is a miracle in itself. We're having, like, you know, you have these business conferences where everybody come together, drop ideas on each other. We sitting here reading the Bible. We're reading the Bible. We're renting rooms to read a Bible. Some would say that sounds crazy. We're not talking about get rich quick schemes up in here or anything. Mm-hmm. We're just reading the Bible. That's a miracle.
That's a miracle.
I don't think we realize how big this is. We'll realize it soon, don't worry. Especially when this police goes. Mm-hmm. When that mark comes on the scene like it's supposed to, you're going to realize. All right? Let's read.
This is Romans chapter 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. For they being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness, and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of the Most High. For Christ is the end of the law, for righteousness to everyone that believeth. For Moses describeth the righteousness which is of the law, that the man which doeth those things shall live by them. But the righteousness which is of faith speaketh on this wise. Say not in thine heart, who shall ascend into heaven, that is to bring Christ down from above? Or who shall descend into the deep, that is to bring up Christ again from the dead? But what saith it? The word is nigh thee, even in thy mouth and in thy heart. That is the word of faith, which we preach. If thou shalt confess with thy mouth that Yeshua, and shalt believe in thine heart that the Most High hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved.
Now it puts the pieces together here, because they'll just jump straight to that scripture and say, oh, that's it. That's all I got to do. No, there's a catch there. You have to believe in your heart. Mm-hmm. It tell you from the abundance of your heart, the mouth speaks. So if there's evil in your heart, it's going to eventually come out your mouth. It's the same thing with the word. If your heart is not filled with the truth here and you're following what the Most High's will is, his commandments, then guess what? You don't get that contract. They're butchering that one little scripture there, not understanding everything that was before it. It literally said, look, we got a zeal for the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Why? Because we take the knowledge and say, that's the white man's book. Oh, that's written by man. All this confusion, just so we don't have to stop sinning. That's the catch. That's really why we do it. Because we didn't actually research any of that. We was talking to a brother on the other street the other day. What was we at? What was that? Inglewood. Brother said the same thing. They just repeated like a parrot. Man wrote that. Oh, the white man wrote that. Okay, but the book, if you believe that, which you're in error, it doesn't actually say anything about him. It says us getting a kingdom. So what's your point? And they get there and they just distract you, try to, trying to fight against, really the reality is they just don't want to stop their ways. They don't want to submit. They just said you have to submit yourself. It's funny. When the other nations got that, they took over. When they stopped, they said, okay, we're following this guy. Matter of fact, that's what Islam was. What did I tell you it means? Submission, right? That's what it means when you're dealing with that. Mm-hmm. They literally said, okay, this is our, we're now the chosen, and we're going to take over. And that's what they did. They went from one country to the next doing that. expanding. All we got to do is get the same thing and do better than that. Because this isn't a physical war. It's a spiritual. The physical comes when Christ returns. He will repay. So that's the whole thing. It said you must submit yourself. Stop leaning on your own thing. Get rid of the stiff neck and the head bob motions we do when we don't want to hear nothing and all that mess. And listen for a change. All right? Let's see. We got a little bit more on that?
There's one more verse.
One more verse. Read that.
I'll start at 9. That if thou shalt confess with thy mouth Yeshua, and shalt believe in thine heart that the Most High hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation.
All right. That's the deal. It's not just about talking some madness. Being the one who can shout the loudest and do the most helicopters in the church and break dance or whatever. He showed me a clip of some people in the church actually jumping rope.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. That's how much of a circus it's become. That's some dry bones for you. We don't even fear the Most High no more. All right. So let's go on. Exodus. Let's go to Isaiah 29 and 9. This brother was jumping rope. I thought it was bad when I saw a clip where a brother literally took off sprinting from the back of the church and went all the way around and came back. I was like, what is going on? Like, do you even own a Bible? I can't even ask you reading it. Do you even own one? Where did you get that from? Right? So we have a zeal of the Most High here. We'll put on a good show for him. Yeah. But not according to knowledge. We don't know a doggone thing in that Bible. As a matter of fact, like I said, we'll get a who knows what kind of translation just so we don't have to follow what's actually written in.
Right. Yeah.
We'll rather it'll be brothers showing up soon just with the coloring book version for the kids. Yeah, I got my Bible with me, take some notes. He's sitting there coloring in the class.
Yeah, right.
Just acting a fool. All right. Read that.
This is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. For the Most High hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers hath he covered. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I am not learned. Wherefore the Most High said, For as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid.
All right. And it's funny, I was just thinking about, it's got to be talking about us too. Because we'll claim we'll be doing the most ridiculous TV show possible. And somehow, you have somebody just slip in. Well, let's do a prayer to the Most High. Right? Let's do some. Let's call on Jesus right now. Like, but you dancing like you at some kind of club or something. Like, what's going on here? You shaking it up, but now let me pray. Let's go ahead and pray. Right, all over the floor. Let's pray. That's our people. We'll call on the Most High fast while sinning.
Right.
Get shot, be like, yo, if I survive this, I will never sin again. Mm-hmm. Then brag about I got shot when the Most High let you survive. I'm tough now. You said you was in the hospital, Mama, I love you, and everything. You about to cut an album now. That's us, man. Ezekiel 33 and 30. And we'll do one more after that. That is us. When that thing's still hot, we oh man. Oh. The next day, yeah, I got hit about 9 times. Yeah. Ezekiel 33 and 30. Read that, please.
All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 30. Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 30. Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Most High.
30.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that was 30. Ezekiel 33.
I want to go down to the people coming. Just finish the. Read to the end. Yeah, read to the end.
Verse 31. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice.
And that's really why they like the street preacher so much. Oh man, he was breaking down them scriptures on that guy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I want to do that one day. For the Most High, of course. Mm-hmm. Read that.
And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words, but they do them not. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them.
Right, because what we're telling you, whether you get it or not, is going to happen.
Right.
The chip, everything that we done dropped is going to happen. In fact, it's already going on. They already have chips in different states already. Mm-hmm. I think it was Wisconsin. They put that big thing on the news. And people was like, oh, yeah, I got a chip in me, and I can use the vending machine at my job with my chip. Like, man, that must be some good crackers right there. You willing to go to hell over it. Mm-hmm. Them things must be slamming. Mm-hmm. But this is what people. This is what came on the news. I'm like trying to figure out, like, okay, that's it. You happy because you can use a vending machine? Mm-hmm. So all the stuff, brothers and sisters, we said is going to happen. It's not only happening, but it's going to get worse, just like we said. So you have to ask yourself, in these seconds that you have left here, are you doing your job? Because that's what's going to matter. A lot of people are already asleep at that post. They are primed and ready for a chip to unlock some sandwiches in a machine. They're ready for it. And I say that, kind of jokingly, but that's the level of intelligence people have these days. Yeah, that's where they at mentally. Just a little gadget. Oh, look, we said it was supposed to be Raptors, with their car, doing this with the chip, and they're probably gonna do something like Jake would do, like on the window or something. Look how I did that, y'all. Check that out. Right. And we'll be taking. Man, I gotta get that now. Just like we did with everything. Every phone they came with, they just presented a certain way. We bought it like nothing. But yet, as soon as you say, okay, well, we got to put some money together to do something for this movement, make sure we do it. Man, times was hard, man. Yeah, because you just bought 5 of them phones. You seen for each of your kids got one now. Because you saw it on a video. That's why times are hard. That's the difference between us, again, and the other nations. It's not that we're the top. When you look at the numbers, we buy the most. That's a fact. When it comes to consuming, we're at the top. House could be towed up, but we're going to have something nice on the feet. That's a fact. We spend a lot of money. So you can't tell me we don't have the capability to do better, even when it comes to supporting whatever we got to do. Whatever. It seems like the only time we come with the real support is when we're confused. When we're in confusion. There's no shortage. It's people, think about it. You spend more than a night sometimes when you're in the world just for beers and everything at the restaurant. Mm-hmm. Or wherever you went. You done drop all kinds of money at the place. Yeah, man. You might even do something crazy that one night.
Check.
Hey, get everybody around.
Yeah.
In 5 seconds, you just
Whole
spent everything.
paycheck, yeah.
Kids now they ain't got nothing to eat because daddy sent everybody around.
Shit. Yeah.
That's why we got to look back at ourselves in this mirror here and really reflect, are we doing our job? Because that's part of your job too. Making sure your priorities are straight so the work can flourish. You can't give us the worst of you and give everybody the best. You show up to work, hey, what's up, boss? How you doing? Yeah, yeah, I'm here. But then you come here, the attitude, oh man. You calling us up, hitting us, elder, man, you don't understand. I'm going through this thing with this sister, man. It's like she's trying to destroy me.
Right.
Like as if this is a word. People used to say it in the world. You could be working at McDonald's, you talking about somebody trying to destroy you. Just go work at Wendy's. What are you talking about? Is it that grave? Is it that serious? You trying to destroy you, huh? We just saying the same silly stuff in the truth. Like, what are you talking about? Prioritize here. Get your mind right. All right? Last scripture here. Psalms 119 and 7 through 16. It's funny, remember they had the expression about leading a horse to water, but you can't make him drink? It's funny. I wonder where they got that from, because if you really think about it, baptism is that. I could tell you what you got to do, but you got to want it for yourself and do it. You got to want to go to that water and live by that water. Remember, you were to die like Christ. You're supposed to go in that water understanding that when you come out, you're no longer that person you were. You must do your job now. Not that awful employee that nobody wants to, like, oh man, I'm not recommending you for no other job. Forget it. You must do your job now. All right? Let's read that last scripture there.
So Psalms chapter 119, verse 7. I will praise thee with uprightness of heart, when I shall have learned thy righteous judgments. I will keep thy statutes. O forsake me not utterly. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way?
What is the path that a young person shall go? Let's find it.
By taking heed thereto according to thy word. With my whole heart have I sought thee. O let me not wander from thy commandments. Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee. Blessed art thou, O Lord. Teach me thy statutes. With my lips have I declared all thy judgment of thy mouth. I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimonies, as much as in all riches. I will meditate in thy precepts, and have respect unto thy ways. I will delight myself in thy statutes. I will not forget thy word. Deal bountifully with thy servant, that I may live and keep thy word.
All right. So that's the secret here. Deal with the Most High's ways from now on. And you'll find things will get a lot easier. Even the miracles you actually seeking will come. But you have to do this first. I said it before. I think I said it earlier. Sometimes it takes a few years before people get it right. But you forget, the years are running thin here. The time is getting faster. I feel like I just got here not too long ago. I've been over on the West Coast. We're looking at a year now. We're coming up on a year. Okay, so the thing is, we can't be ignorant of that fact. And as in the spirit of this lesson, make sure we're doing our job. When you look at your children, remember you have a job to do for them too. You're not just doing it for yourself. We have plenty of generations of children that were cursed based off of us not doing our jobs. Let's be different now. Let's teach them different now. Even if they were a certain age, even if you didn't come in when they were babies and all that, you still have a chance to change them now. to help them with this. But it's going to come through you living this word, not just hearing it. If they still see you like you was in the world, they're not going to feel a need to change. They're only as good as you are. Keep that in mind. There's another point before we wrap this up. There was another point here. Oftentimes we blame the children. We say, look at this generation right now. They're lost. But how did they get there? It was us. We didn't keep the standard. Stop blaming what is now and blame what happened before there. It came from somewhere. The Most High said, I'm going to curse your future generations based off of you. So I want to make that clear. When you leave here with a certain level of responsibility to go forward and change not only your own house, but ultimately everyone you meet through your example. And that's what it comes down to, doing your job. That's your job. Okay? That was Adam's job, and it's your job now. His job was to be the image of the Most High in the earth, and that's your job now. Okay? So with that being said, we'll open up for questions. And we have anything else we could put out there?
No.
Okay.
Someone asked, why is the title Colorado?
Yeah, it's titled Colorado because we're in Colorado right now. That's why it's titled Colorado. Good question. Yes, sir. All right. Any questions there? Okay, just to clear it up, what we're doing right now as elders is we're going around and linking with the people and just trying to have everyone understand that it's not a lone thing. It's just that you have to understand that the laborers are few and that you must be patient. But ultimately, we're going to get everybody on the same page here to be the Most High's will. You know, of course, it's not in our hands. You have to choose if you want to do this work. Okay? And just like any other place that's built up, it takes time, but we build it up. And you'll see slowly but surely, and that's why we could probably hit this here. We're going to see y'all later, though. Shalom.